What's up, savages? Sons of Anarchy is finally done. No longer do I have to watch badass outlaws get away with making terrible judgment calls and somehow having no repercussions. At the end, I would say I was satisfied with it all. So if you're looking for a TV show, you can watch it. Just be careful because some of the shit that happens, you're just going to be like, how the hell did they get away with that when it doesn't make fucking sense? Anyways, let's begin. Friends, family, welcome, right? This is a living room, no longer bedroom, okay? So before we hop into it, I'm going to just say two things relatively quick. Number one, I'm back. We're going to be able to do at least a couple videos a week, probably around 4, aiming for 5 to 6. But regardless, for a lot of you Call of Duty fans out there who subscribe to me, or Halo fans, whatever it is, you know, when I took the job at Hi-Rez, it's been 2.5 months of really figuring out what the fuck Smite was, right? And understanding the competitive scene. Because you guys know how I cast in like Call of Duty or Halo. Like, I know all about the players. I know their tendencies. I know what they're like. And I also have like a decent amount of game knowledge. So when I made the switch to Smite, it was like, I don't know shit. I basically have to do play-by-play. This fucking sucks. So it was a really big grind. So a guy named Menno asked if I was going to be able to do 4 or 5 videos a week, and I am able to do that. So we're back, baby. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop. Oh, second thing. This is the living room. So one thing you're going to notice is, one, this desk makes absolutely no sense. It looks bad. It doesn't fit. It's whatever. On that used to be Maven's big TV, but as we all know, Maven went bye-bye. He's got a job at MLG. I'm proud of you, buddy. So I had to go out and buy this one because my mother said, if you buy a 47-inch TV, I don't want you coming home for Christmas because that's what I bought you. So I was like, thanks, Mommy. I love you. I'll just go out and spend, like, money on a 32 that I can throw in my bedroom. I appreciate it. So anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this bitch, shall we? It's dedication, aka Chris. Chris, the egg, terrible look, man. Get a fucking picture on there, alright? Jesus. Do you want to see exosuits / abilities in future CODs? Do you agree with H5 seeming to add some of these into their game? This is so tough, right? So, the gamer in me, like if I want to sit down and I want to play a competitive FPS console shooter, I don't want any of that gimmicky bullshit, right? I know that. But, so I guess I'll answer the first part. Do I want to see it in future CODs? No. I think the gameplay, it's really fast, which is good for viewers, but at the same time, like respawns for me, maybe just because I don't know the game types, and you guys could probably comment on this in the comment section, is it just seems like a death cam. Like everyone's just fucking dead. The only thing that's really badass with like the abilities is search and destroy. Other than that, I don't like it. So now in regards to Halo, I believe sprint has to stay in. Like that pains me to say, but it's going into 2015. Everyone wants sprint. Like every normal kid who picks up an FPS is like, oh, why can't I fucking run faster, right? And we hate those kids. We really do. But you know what? They're the people who fucking buy the goddamn game. They're the people who support esports because they're the people who support us, right? So that's fine. I think ground and pound and Spartan tackles and Spartan slides and double jumps and thruster packs, all that stuff, it's like, is it necessary? I don't think so. But the big thing here that you have to take away from this is if it's game breaking. Now, what I mean by game breaking here is if I can sprint, if I'm top middle, right? Let's just call it midship. If I'm top middle midship and if I run from car 3 to pink 2, right? And it takes me 1 second to do it, right? And that means that the kill time for a normal person, like I spawn up and I see some guy running from car to pink 2, I won't be able to for him. That's really fucking frustrating. That you can't have. Because if a good player can't do it, then a bad player sure as fuck can't do it. So what that means to me is as long as sprint is in a kill time, or as long as 2 people can focus someone down and kill the person, they not get away, that's good. Because the casuals are going to have a bad time. Pros are going to hate it. It's really weird how much synergy there actually is between like a casual player having fun and a competitive player. This is what I've learned. Where's the fucking next scene? I don't have my key bindings. What is this shit? What was your emotions like when you went to your first Halo tournament? Well, this is really fitting since Iron Gaming's this weekend. My first emotions going to an event it was a lot different than I think a lot of people's experience, just because, well, I was 12. There was no esports, there wasn't a bunch of eyes on it. It was just like, show up, show you're fucking good, and go from there. So that's kind of how it was. I was super pumped up. I'm talking like right before Christmas pumped up. Like I'm sitting there, I'm fiending, I'm like... My brother's just like 18, cool as shit, and he's just like, dude, stop being a fucking dweeb. But he's like nervous, but he takes it out on me, right? He's like, you're a fucking pussy for being scared. This is just a video game. But really deep down, like, he's fucking freaking out. So I think the big thing here is, if you don't get antsy for an event, if you don't get anxious for your first event, then you're in the wrong fucking scene, and you should get the fuck out, right? Obviously, you want to prove you're the best. Obviously, you want to do the best. You have to have goals. Mine was to go and win. Luckily, it was a Virginia Beach local, so I was able to win that. So yeah, take that shit to the fucking bank. If you're not antsy and you're not anxious, I don't think it's for you. What's your favorite game to cast? Smite or Cod? Well, Gabriel Nobert, a.k.a. Axel Snake Eyes. This is going to suck to say, but honestly, it's Smite. So here's a big difference, and we can touch on this for just a little bit. I mean, I haven't had a 30-minute long video in forever, so why the fuck not? The big difference between Smite and like Call of Duty, or Smite and Halo, is that Smite, like, it progresses. Like, you see a team get better and better and better throughout the duration of a game, right? And like, you see them start adding shit on. I always have something to talk about, right? Like, everything. When you watch a COD, it's like play-by-play into play-by-play and a little bit of color into a weird, witty joke, and then follow it up, hype, right? In Smite, it's like, if the hype is happening, fucking awesome, right? But there's so many different things, like even from lane matchups, right? Like solo lane, how does this god match versus this god? And then you take it up to the professional level of, how does Divios, let's say, from COG Red go up against Omega from COG Prime, right? Like, how do those two battles go, right? And then it's the same thing for every lane, man. And then on top of that, I have objectives. So for me, it's like super fun to cast Smite, just because the entire time, like, I can paint this picture, right? It's like a journey. I'm telling a kid a story. I'm like, well, here's what they need to do to win. And then in the mid game, this is what happens. Oh, this was the turning point in the game. So for me, it's never like a stale moment in it, whereas there's times in like a Call of Duty, or especially Halo, right? Like, I feel really bad for like the commentators for like Halo Master Chief Collection and Halo 2 Anniversary, because you have the stalemates on Lockout, you have those stalemates, you have those long drawn out 15-minute King of the Hill games, which, just by the way, it should be like 12, maybe even 10 max. Like, come on. I think it's very, very hard to watch. And Bomb, Assault might be the worst game type I've ever watched in a competitive setting, period. I was sitting there, it was funny, me and Maven were at the MCC Invitational, and I was like, hey, dude, are you having like a hard time following this? Like, we played it, and like, obviously we're a joke, but like, do you enjoy watching this? And he's like, no, not really, man. So that's kind of it for me. Next question. You think your Caps are going to make the playoffs? Absolutely fucking not. My team is trash, man. This is DC sports in a nutshell, right? Oh, we got a bunch of fucking hype, man, coming in hot, right? And then it's just like, we're good one week, we shit the bed the next. Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. There's too much bad. That's DC. I have no faith in DC. Fuck DC. Fuck everything about them. Little jingle. What was the whole controversy between Iron Gaming and Halo Pros back in Halo 4? Man, if I would have taken time to prep, I could have synergized these tweets so fucking well. So what happened was, before RTX 2014, so Iron Gaming's main thing back then was, okay, we are here for the amateur scene, but we're going to give out this payout, which pros can't go for unless X happens. So Aaron, this is like widely known, especially across the competitive community. So Aaron, who was the owner at the time, I don't believe he no longer is affiliated with them, he was telling the pros that in order for them to go and compete at RTX, they had to get him 1,200 Twitter followers and 2,000 subscribers. 2,000 fucking subscribers. You're talking to a Halo community that's been beaten into the fucking ground, who most of these people don't even have that. Most of these people don't even have 2,000 subs on fucking YouTube, let alone enough to get someone else. So there was, I forget what team it was. Some team ended up buying him like a couple followers, and then some team helped him out on YouTube, but it wasn't anywhere close. So the fact that you bribe, or the fact that you're forced to fuck over the community, it was just a very scumbaggish move. And I hope, I think the new person in head is a girl named Corey, and she seems to be doing well. So hopefully you guys, come out and support her, because, it's what matters, man. It's where, if you're a fan of Halo, you got to support it. Iron Gaming's a part of it. Support the shit out of it. David Gow, when is the next adventure with Maeve? I don't know, man. That was his bed right there. I left it just the way it was. Yeah, I know. Like, I feel like I've lost a loved one. It's just there. Like, this was his sunroom, right? He had all of this. Obviously, it's way much for the better, but I have no idea of when I will have another fucking adventure with Maven. I really don't. Hopefully, I see him sometime in the near future if our paths cross, but for the most part, I don't think I'm going to be seeing him for a long fucking time. And, that's tough, but whatever. He's doing good. I'm doing good. That's what fucking matters. Moving fucking fire. When does Smite come out on the Xbox One? Listen here, okay? For everyone who wants to know this, Maximum Clutch, you specifically here, since you're the one who asked the question. When I know when it'll come out, I'll let everyone else know. All I can tell you is that if you're familiar with the Unreal Engine, because that's really what we use. That's what we use for Smite. That's what we use for pretty much all our game is the Unreal Engine. If you're familiar with that third-person, over-the-HUD shoulder camera view, you're gonna fucking love Smite on the Xbox One. It's really good. It plays well. You have a lot of developer support. We're hoping to establish some sort of esports scene depending on how the console does. It'll be really, really good. And, that's really me speaking, right? Like, I would love to have a console scene. Everyone else is just kind of like, whatever happens, right? Like, we love our community, right? And I think Hi-Rez is a company that does really, really well with engaging their community, which is why I'm glad to be a part of it. But for the most part, I have no idea when it's going to be released. But I'll tell you what, it feels fucking awesome. Hunters? My console shooters, you guys are going to be lighting assholes on fire. Next one. What is your opinion on Twitch buying pro teams GG and EG? I think it's fucking awesome, man. The fact that we're seeing stuff like that happen in our time is really, really sick. Rapid fire. Why do COD pros whine about half the shit in every game and they can't accept it as it is more than gun skill? Well, Carter, here's the thing, right? I'm going to let everyone in on we're going to reach out here. We're going to grab inside my memory, and then here. Here's the thing, right? When a game comes out, and it is widely accepted as like one of the best things ever, right? And you have this competitive community for it, right? Like, we had Halo 2 Classic. Some people would say Halo 3. Some would say Halo 1, right? Call of Duty. You guys had your games in the past, but you had fucking Black Ops 2. Everything made sense. Everything worked. No matter what happens in the next games, you're always going to resort back to what you had the most fun with or the most success with, right? That's the big thing. So really, it's like this, right? You date a girl in high school for 3 years, okay? Things are good. We go off to college. She cheats on you. You hate her. Whatever. Fuck it, right? Just dumb bitches, bro. Then, what ends up happening is that your next girlfriend comes and you compare her to the last one, to your buddies, right? That's it. It's just comparing your ex-girlfriends to one another, man. That's a stretch. I know. I fucking suck. Whatever. Fuck. What the fuck's the button? I need key bindings. Do you feel accomplished with what you've done so far? Ah, shit. Peyote. I think... Is that really how you spell peyote? Well, I'm damn good at fucking sounding things out. Well, peyote... Honestly, where I'm at in my life, I actually realized my place, right? Like, I think it's really, really good. I'm really, really thankful for all the opportunities, everyone who stuck by me throughout this entire journey. But obviously, I want more, right? Like, I think that's the thing. I think success is weighed in your eyes. Am I happy to be in Atlanta, working for Hi-Rez, working with a game developer who's now got a prize pool of 1.7 million and continuously growing. Yeah, I am. It's it's really, really awesome. But I think there's always more, man. Like there's just so many more things like you want to do, and it comes with time and it comes with knowledge. And I think the big thing for me, and this is just going to synergize up with this, right? So, Dave Banks, if you could redo one thing in life, what would it be and why? Ba-da-da-da-da. I think the big thing for me, looking back on it, is I wouldn't redo anything that I've done in this life. And I think where I'm at is a good testament of it. Everyone's going to have regrets, right? And I think one of my biggest regrets possible was probably not going through with school, but mentally, I couldn't fucking do it. I just couldn't do it. And I'm like 2 classes away from an associate's, and that's my next venture, right, in life, is as soon as Hi-Rez is, as soon as I get everything situated with time management, right, like first order of business was getting used to the job. Second order of business, getting back on YouTube. I always am going to do the gym. That's like always my thing. That's how I silence the voices in my head that just keep fucking talking and nagging like you're not good enough or you got to do better or you can achieve more. That the gym is always a consistent in my life. But the next venture will probably be school. I'm going to probably try to do something with online, and that's just going to help me, man. There's a lot of things like you think you know. And here's a perfect example, right? I've been in competitive esports for 13 years now, right? And now I'm like working with a developer. You realize that you may have input on a map, but you might not be able to create a map. You may be able to model it after something. That's cool. That's awesome. Great. But you're not making a fresh one. I realized, for the longest time I was sitting there and I was like, I think if someone gave me like $20 million, it's 2 years release a game, do it. I'd say, okay, fuck it. Yeah, I can do it. But I realized I can't. And I think that's part knowledge, part business, part a lot of things. And that'll be my next venture in life is 100% going through with college and finishing that out. And honestly, for those of you out there who are like kind of floating on the boat, right? If it's, don't force it, man. Like I don't have student loans, all my shit's paid off, but don't force it. I think that's the worst thing you can do is force school down your throat. Now, if you're one of those people who can grind through it and get out of it, awesome. But for me, like I just mentally couldn't handle college. I wanted to chase my dream. That's all I cared about was getting better and better and better. And even still in like 2 years, kind of went through like a little depression, right? Like one of the things that really, really fucked me up was it was 2012 basically through late 2011 through 2013, right? Like I didn't have anything, right? Like MLG wasn't a thing anymore. Like that's what I knew. That's like what created me, right? Like Halo was not a thing. I had no security blanket, right? Like at the age of like 18, I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just work for MLG one day, right? And then like Halo got stripped away and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, right? And so I hit this like weird depression, and I don't think I have depression. I think it's just something that happened. But what ended up happening was, right, like I went from this like euphoric state of always, going to events, making money, being on TV, to fucking working at UPS for 8 months and missing my nephew being born because I needed to be there, right? Working on a farm, giving hay rides for a year, not doing anything. To then, finally, I took my fate in my own hands. I went out to the UGC. I was living basically paycheck to paycheck. No idea what's going to happen down the road, but at least I felt like I had my fate in my own hands. So, the whole fucking thing, like looking back on it, like I'm glad I went through it. I'm really, really, really glad that I went through it because I think a lot of people in life, like I never had a hardship. My hardships didn't fucking exist. Yeah, my family's like, middle class, but like kind of like bottom tier. Like I grew up knowing like at an early age, like I couldn't get the nice thing, right? Like I'm not here to play the world's fucking smallest violin, but like I have parents who fucking support me. They've been together for like 34 years. I have my brother who's like my best friend. I have a group of 20 best friends I've known my entire life. Like that's like I'm so fucking grateful for that, right? Like, I didn't have to work a normal job from 15 all the way on until fucking 20, basically. And that's huge, man. Like, not many people can say they fucking didn't have to do that. And I was on TV. I had a USA Network crew follow me. Like, I didn't have any, obstacles to overcome. And now, like, that was like an obstacle I had to overcome, right? Like, it's weird sitting down and, like, just thinking that the way I would explain it, and the way I do explain it, is I felt like I dug a hole, right? Like, I dug this fucking hole for myself. And the only way out of it was, crawl out of it. But the thought of crawling out of that hole caused me so much anxiety that I just fucking clammed up, and I just couldn't fucking do it, man. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So, I am super fucking grateful for where I am. I'm gonna continue to get better, and that's really it. I didn't expect to say any of this shit, but, hopefully, if anyone out there has dealt with anything like this, just know, you get pulled back in life so you can fucking shoot forward. It's the same thing as a bow and arrow. That is what makes you who you are, is how you fucking shoot forward. At least I think. On to a lighter subject here. Oh, God. Fuck my ass with a pole. Do you think Rager Reagan could fulfill Maven's spot in your life? So first and foremost there, she already has, right? Like, that's my girlfriend. She means a lot to me. She's really, really cool. She puts up with my shit, right? Like, that's really what I can. She's trying to, like, train me into, like, dressing like something like that I'm not, but that's fucking women. That's just how they are. They always have to, like, pick at you a little bit. But yeah, no, she's doing a good job, and I really care for the girl. What is the big difference between the Smite community and the COD community? The Smite community is relatively small, and it's continuously growing. There's no real. It's so hard to come back in a video after fucking talking about, like, that, like, 2 topics ago. Like, Jesus fuck. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is a guy like that supposed to do? I'm trying to keep the energy up here, and it's just fucked. I don't even remember the question. I closed out of it. Son of a bitch. Oh, well, next one. Colby, how badly is MCC's triumphant failure going to fuck up the sales of Halo 5? I love you, but I don't love you. Take it easy.